Welcome to RD Cloud Compute. Previously, we covered how to take up VMware backups, ESXi VM backups using ghettoVCB. In this, I'm going to cover how to schedule a ghettoVCB using a couple of options. One is using ESXi cron jobs, and second from Windows Task Scheduler, so that these backups, VM backups, can be automated. So no need to manually run any commands. So let's see how to schedule a job. So first I'm going to cover ESXi cron tab option. So all Unix ESXi machines have an inbuilt job schedulers or task schedulers that is called a cron jobs or a cron tab. The cron tab is responsible for scheduling the job, or it's a configuration file for this scheduled jobs. So in ESX, this cron tab is in ESX. You can locate the cron file under the path under was spool cron tabs for the root. It's for the we're going to edit the cron tab for the root user. So I'm going to use VA editor to edit that file. So connect to the ESXi server using SSH. Um, so make sure you enable the SSH for the ESXi and log into the ESXi using root password. So I'm just going to edit the cron tab for the root using VA editor. So yeah, this is how the file looks like. You want to schedule a job, like this file takes. You can mention the. So this is the example of how this cron tab works. So the first one is the minute at specific time when you want to, like in this example, it's gonna the specific script gonna run at 2:36 a.m. in the morning on every Sunday. So the first field is minute. So it takes a value from 0 to 59. So you can mention anything between 0 to 59. It's considered as a minute of the hour. And then at what time this it's 2 o'clock here, so it takes value from 0 to 23. And this is the day of the month when you want to run. So let's say first of every month, second of every month, third, like this. So it takes a value from first 1 to 31. So and this the fourth field is the month of the year when you want so do you want to the star indicates it runs on every month. So if you want to run it only on a specific month, let's say I just want to run a backup only on a uh, uh, January, so just mention one, or else you can mention any months 1 to 12. And this is the last one is the day of the week, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when this job, if you want to run this every day, just mention star or asterisk, or else you can mention a specific day. And then the last field takes the command, which what's the command you want to execute. You can simply run this script, or you can mention any additional parameters like a hyphen m, whatever you want to look. I will cover that additional parameters later in this video. So let's move to the ESXi and see how to add this backup to this cron tab. So in this, I'm gonna have added in this I added a configuration to take a backup of a virtual machine called boss. So this backup will run every day at 1 p.m. So, it's gonna run at 13 hours. 13 hours, and every day it's 1 p.m. So it will take backup of only the specific VM named as BOSS. So if you want to make this as a different like for all VMs, just remove this hyphen m and the VM name. So if you can just mention hyphen a, that's gonna take a backup of all the virtual machines inside the ESXi. So if you want to change anything different day or different month or a specific day month, so you can change the specific fields. So there are a couple of websites like a cron generator or a crontab grew, you can, if you want a more specific if you want to go through the specific values, like exactly when you want to, like you want to run it every 15 minutes, uh, or every 12 hours, like this, you can select, and then it gives you the cron generated cron file. And I like this one, that the cron tab one. So cron tab grew, so it gives you, you can modify everything, and it's just tell you exactly what it's going to do. Let's say I'm going to run something on every day at 10 a.m. So it will be, so it's going to run at every day at 10 a.m. So it's next it's going to run at 10 o'clock. So if you want to just run it on only um, once in every year, let's say on January first of every January, so it's going to run on first of January at 10 a.m. So you can change these values here, and then you can make sure exactly uh, what it's these values going to do in the cron tab, and then you can set the cron tab values accordingly. So have just set these values, so you can save this cron the save the crontab file. And so once you save the file, you have to restart the cron process. So um, uh, to do that, we need to know the process ID of the current ESXi cron process. So I'm gonna find out the process ID process ID. So run the scat command that lists the process ID, then kill this process. So just kill 274435. So it's already stopped. So I'm just gonna restart the service. So this is the command to start the cron process. Okay, now it started. Let's see. Yep, now you got the new process ID. Okay, all good. So this backup has been scheduled. So if you are not o- okay with this scheduling the cron top, if you are not familiar with the cron jobs, or if you don't want to do the schedules inside the ESXi, or some any reason if you don't want to do it, you can use the next method, Windows one. So let's see how to run a job from Windows server or Windows machine, and run a schedule from Windows machine. So in this for this, I'm going to use the plink.exe, comes with the uh, 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 from the PuTTY application. So you can download it from, yeah. So you can just download the whole PuTTY application. So just click here. So you can use the entire exe, or just download the p-link. So I'm just prefer this MSI and install the whole package. So I have already got the p-link installed, the entire package got installed. So I have everything installed in the program files. So I have everything installed automatically in here. So I have a p-link exe located in the program files. So what we can do is, in the using plink, you can directly run a backups, initiate trigger a backup, get a backup, so from Windows. So for this, you have a couple of options. You can use the SSH private key option, so that you don't have to store any username, passwords on the schedule in a plain text. You can just use the encrypted private key files for scheduling jobs. If so I have already have a private key generated for my ESXi server. I'm going to use this one, show you how to use this private key for a backup. And if you're not familiar with this SSH keys, you can still use the username and passwords. So let's see. So this is a command line that will be used for backing up on a single machine. This specific command will trigger a backup job on the ESXi server to 192.168.0.240 as a root user and using this private key. So and then it will what it does is it logs does the SSH connection to this server using this private key as a root, and then executes this specific command. So this will initiate a backup of the specific individual VM, which is called BOSS. Let's run this manually and see how it works. Yep, now it is started. It's going to run the backup for the specific VM. I'm just I haven't mentioned any password here. It's just using this private key file. So if you don't have a private key, if you don't want to use the private key options, you can still use the username passwords. The only thing is you have to mention your password after the username. So once after the root, mention your password. Here type your root password for the specific ESXi, and then you can run this command. So similarly, if you want to initiate a backup of all the VMs, just change the switch and remove the VM name. Instead of dash M, you can use dash A or hyphen A. So that initiates the backups of all the VMs on a specific ESXi server. So let's see the status. This is clone in progress 13%. Sorry. Yep. So this is completed. Now this successfully completed the backup for the BOSS VM. So let's go back to this one. Have a command. This is the data store path I have configured in the ghetto configuration file for the backups. Let's see whether the backup has completed. Have a SSH connection to the ESXi. Oh, sorry. So let's just list the files under this specific folder. Okay. Yeah. So I have a recent backup completed now. So it's completed 1856. Yeah, I have a 1 hour time difference between my local time and the ESXi. So it is completed now. So if you want to trigger with the username and password, let's try this one. It works the same way. So I'm just going to type that my password. So let's see how. So this is the command you can use manually to a peeling command. You can uh, plink.exe you can use to establish SSH connection and run any command remotely on any of the Unix boxes or ESXi servers. So let's see how to use Windows task scheduler or a Windows schedule jobs to run this one on a specific time, like a schedule jobs. So let's launch the task scheduler. So create that basic task. So give it a name, say VM backup. Okay, and if you want to just takes backup of BOSS VM at 10 p.m. every day. Okay, let's see. I want to run the backup daily, so you can choose how frequently you want to run, how when you want to run this backup, daily, weekly, monthly, once, or you can choose to. I go with the daily one. Okay, so when to start, when this is going to start this. So I'm just leave it from the same time now. So it's not going to change anything. It's going to run every day. Yes, it's going to run reoccur every 1 day. So next, start a program. Yes, I just want to start a program. Next. So the program I'm gonna run is the plink.exe. So this is where I have the plink.exe. Just select the plink. So I got the plink.exe, and just I need to pass this backup commands as an argument. So I'm just gonna select this argument from this existing command which we tested manually. Just put it as an argument. So just make sure you add this -batch command. So I'm sorry, you have to add this entire thing. If you are using the password, you make sure you add this line, or if you are using a key, just make sure you add this one from -batch. So make sure you include the -batch, otherwise it will prompt for a user to enter, do some confirm the any error messages, or any it will wait for the user to give the acknowledgement, or hit enter to run the backups. So if you mention -batch, it will be considered as a batch job, so it won't wait for any user prompts. So it's a batch file. It's going to run on the specific ESXi server, and it will just back up the specific VM. Next. So this is what it's going to look like when it runs. Yep, this is what I want. It's fine. Okay, yes, open the property of the scheduled task once it is click finish. Okay, so I just make sure you change this to whether user is logged in or not. We don't want this to be we don't want to store any password. We are not going to use any local Windows resources, so we don't need to store any password. And so it triggers at, just I forgot to change the timing. I wanted to run at 10 p.m. So make sure this daily it runs at 10 p.m. instead of um, you schedule is mentioned on this. Your schedule is right. Yep, that's it. So if you want to this scheduled jobs to be expire on a specific after 1 month or 2 months, you can do that one. So it's gonna click OK, and action is this is what the file it's gonna run, and I'm not going to change any other settings. Just click OK. So this will run every day and create a backup of the VM. So if you want to test it, make sure your schedule will work properly. Just right click and run it. Yeah, it's running. So if you want to make sure if your backup is running, you can add the log file. This if you add a -l and a path for the log file, then it will give you the generate log file for each and every backup. Let me go back to the ESXi and see any new files are created. Yes, there is a file created now. It's 1904. It's exactly now 1 minute back. So its backup is still running. If you go to the history, you should be able to see all the when the job, what's the status of the job. If there are any failures, it will be you can find out the failures from the history. Okay, let's refresh and see it's completed. Yeah, the task completed successfully. There are no issues. The last run code is 00, which means success. Okay, let's see here. Yep, I got the backup completed. So this one thing you can notice here is it's just it was 4 folders earlier. I had 4 backups. Now it is only 3, because my I have a setting in the config file, ghetto config file, to say I want to retain only last 3 backups. So when the fourth backup completes, it removes the older backup, so that I don't have to manually delete any files. It automatically recycles. So if you are not familiar, go back to the old video and make sure you get the proper config on the ghetto config files. So yeah, this is all for this video. We covered how to schedule the backup, automate or schedule the ghettoVCB backups using cron, ESXi cron, and uh, Windows task scheduler using the plink. So thanks for watching.